All right, hey everybody, it's Menace Stevens here for Proving Grounds at Final Round 2018, and I'm here with Kawai. How's it going, girl?
Oh, you know, it's going pretty good. Just enjoying Atlanta, just doing the thing, enjoying the beautiful weather. It's a little humid today, but other than that, I'm having a lot of fun.
So how's Tekken going?
Tekken is... The pools right now, they're so stacked. We have so many good players out here. It's really intense, and like the tournament is just going amazing right now. Like we have so many like really strong players, and like the matches are just so on point and just so fast paced. Like this is like probably one of, like, so far for the beginning of this year, like this is probably one of the bigger tournaments for Tekken that has happened recently, past like KIT, and I think like Winter Brawl was also like last month. So this one's like doing real well.
And this is the first Tekken World Tour event for the season, right?
Yes.
All right, so I've noticed that the Korean players are starting to travel a bit more. Do you think that's a positive for the scene as a whole, to sort of have that more cross-pollination, especially in the US?
I think so. I think it is a huge positive. It really brings the players together, and it also intermingles a lot of like different skill levels, because like with us in the USA, like we have so many very strong players as it is to hold ourselves against each other, but then when we add in the foreign players and stuff like that, it really helps us like push our limits and push our skill levels. On top of that, we also get the chance to play them, because we never, we don't live in the same country. So it's always I think it's like the best thing that has happened within the past few years, ever since Tekken 7 came out, because we're seeing so many more Korean players, especially like a lot of Korean players that didn't travel as much. Now they're getting that recognition and that spotlight, or even like Japanese players, and like most of the Japanese players don't want to travel as much as like the Korean players, from what I'm told. But it's really good that we're seeing so many Korean players here, because like we don't, me personally, I don't get that chance to play them so often. So I really like it, and I think it's doing our community and just Tekken as a whole just very strongly.
All right, and I saw you on the TV recently. I heard you did some like what's it called? ELEAGUE? How did that opportunity come about? Did they reach out to you? Because I know for certain cases they kind of have done like somewhat, not casting calls, but have had players sort of apply. Did they just kind of reach out to you independently?
Yeah, so all 20 of us that were on ELEAGUE were actually approached via email from ELEAGUE, and they invited us to it, because I know like you're saying, like ELEAGUE they kind of have like different, they change it up every single time, because I know Street Fighter was an invitational, and then Injustice was you had to qualify. Yes. So with this one, it was a invitational as well. So they kind of just reached out to me, and I mean, hey, when you get that opportunity, you gotta just take it, and that's what I did. I was just like, yeah, like I'm definitely down to do it. Like it's gonna be so much fun.
How did they pick do you know how they picked the team captains?
I don't really. Like I know the team captains were a lot of it was East Coast, and then we had one Midwest captain, which was Cuddlecore. Other than that, though, I'm not really sure how they picked the captains, because like a lot of us were kind of like, well, what about the West Coast representation, But
there's a West Coast?
Yeah, SoCal is a strong Tekken scene. They have a real strong Tekken scene. SoCal and NorCal, that entire West Coast area is super strong.
I'm sorry, I'm from the East Coast, so we're the best coast. So like, I forget that your side of the country even exists sometimes, because y'all can be a little full of yourselves.
Oh, yeah. I can attest, like there are a lot of players who are very full of themselves, and it's not even like well-known players who are very full of themselves. It's just like you get that general population of just like the average player, or like average competitive player, and then you get the egos and stuff like that. So I definitely feel you on that one. I mean, to me, it's just like I can admit, like the stronger of the states and the United States, for Tekken especially, is going to be I would think that most people would agree, but I feel that California and Atlanta are like the strongest when it comes to Tekken. Atlanta, they have like their reputation of being the American Koreans, because they have such a strong scene here, and California, they also have a strong scene. Everywhere else is kind of scattered. You have your good players and stuff like that, and you have like the stronger players in each kind of community and stuff like that. But definitely those two cities and states, like they're just hands down one of the best. Like East Coast tournaments always like push me because they are so strong.
I know a conversation has been going around across the FGC. I see it a lot on Twitter and on Facebook, is talking about like supporting your locals to sort of not only bolster your own players, but get new players in. Are you someone that goes out to your locals on a regular basis?
I wish I was. It's not so like. So a lot of the issue that a few local players have with me, they kind of feel that I purposely neglect my local scene, which I don't try to, because I have a job outside of this. I have a real full-time job that I go in every day, clock in 9 to 5, and so it's just sometimes I just can't really make it to the locals or anything like that. However, I do try my best to help other players in my local scene. They'll usually like message me on Facebook, or I'll try to go out during the week to like their houses, and we'll have like a small little gathering and stuff like that. Or like I'll hit up some players and like, hey, are you free on this day? Like I'm off. Like can we play? So I don't participate in the local scene as much as I would like to, but I do try to make as big of an effort as I can to help uplifting other players, because especially in the platform that I have now, I feel that it's very important to share what I do know and what I do have with other players, so that way they can also grow with everyone as well.
All right. So you're a West Coaster, and here you are at Atlanta for final round. Are you gonna make a very strong effort to hit a bunch of World Tour dates, or because of the 9 to 5, are you gonna have to just like sort of pick and choose what you go to?
So it's kind of half and half. My job is very flexible with giving me days off. Obviously, when it comes to days off, I do take that risk of it's not really a risk, but I do take that mental knowledge that I know I'm not going to get paid for those days. So I try to be a little bit careful with like my personal money and stuff like that, so that way I can at least pay my bills when they're due and stuff like that. But other than that, like I'm going to try to hit as many tournaments as I can. I know for sure after this I have CEO stacked up. And then I know NorCal Regionals is after this, like at the end of the month, but I know I'm not going to that one because it's just way too soon. So I'm trying to at least, a lot of people are asking me to go to Combo Breaker, and a lot of people are asking me to go to Defend the North. So I'm going to try to hit those two after CEO, so that way I can like kind of just make my stops, do my best, fight, and then at least do a little bit more before Evo, because ultimately I try to just stay busy, because it's just with my personal job, like it's just kind of like I work and all that stuff, yada yada yada, and then I come home and then I stream, and then I go to bed and just do it all over again. Yeah. And with this, I know this is more so like where I want to be and build like my own personal career and stuff off of it. So I know that as long as I keep going out and making my presence known and stuff like that, like it keeps opportunities rising, and that's definitely what I try to do. I'm a workaholic, so I'm like here sick right now, so I'm just like I'm not that sick. It's just more so just my nasal with allergies and stuff like that. But it's just, to me, it's just work. I like the effort. I like putting it in. I like seeing the outcome of it, and I like to stay busy. But like, long story short, I like to stay busy. So yeah, I'm gonna try to hit as more tournaments after this.
All right. And speaking of the platform you've just been given because of your ELEAGUE appearance, do you have any advice to women who are kind of hesitant to get involved in the FGC?
Oh yes. This is
Should I give you the mic? Is this? No.
But this is my favorite thing. My advice to women in the FGC: just do it. Like there's nothing stopping you. No matter what people say, you have to take that negativity and take all the hatefulness that people do. Because honestly, me being a female in the FGC, like I read a lot of the comments that a lot of people say, and I've noticed a lot of the community, mostly the more toxic people in the community, but still hateful comments still stick to you no matter how much positivity you get from it. And I noticed that a lot of it, they're very hypercritical about our appearances, and I personally don't understand that, because it's just like to me personally, like not a lot of them, most of the people who make these comments just don't really be looking the best themselves. So it's just one of those things where you kind of just have to take that negativity, use it to fuel what you're going for in these tournaments, and most importantly, have fun, make friends, build that community and build that bond with everyone, because all in all, these tournaments are not as horrendous as people are trying to scare a lot of the female players into. And I know a lot of female players are so afraid of coming out because they're like, well, it's predominantly male. And it's just like, yeah, it is predominantly male. But in the end, like, if you really want to do this, just go for it. Like, don't be afraid to do it, because I wasn't afraid, and I just did it. And you know, I do have my haters, and I do have a lot of support, but this is just something I love to do, and it's just something that's so fun to me. So the more I get more positivity than negativity out of it, and I think that's the most important thing. It's just so much fun, and I highly recommend females just to come out, do their thing, have fun, and even if you don't do the best, you can always learn off of other players and make new friends and build your own skills, so that way the next time you go out you can do even better. Because ultimately, yes, we do want to win, however, there's always going to be players that are better than you, and as long as you do your best, that's all that matters. And as long as when you leave these tournaments, you go back home and you have more strength and more knowledge about your gameplay and how to better yourself, you won in itself. No money can replace that.
All right, that was actually that was really great. Is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you got to shout out?
Yes. So I definitely want to thank my sponsor UYU for bringing me out here. I want to thank all of my Twitch subscribers and my followers and everyone on Twitter who's been so supportive of me. Definitely want to thank my family first off. They're not very supportive of this, but I am the person I am because I know my mom has been very strong with telling me, be yourself and don't ever let anyone bring you down, and that's just how it's been going. But definitely having that support of my sponsors with me has been phenomenal, because I have such a strong team that is always backing me and helping me, and I could never replace that.
All right, thanks, Kawai, and remember, everybody, esports is for everyone.